We have the t-shirts back in stock, my darlings. What is delayed is not denied. We have it in blue since you loved it so very much indeed, my darlings. You better go ahead and get your t-shirt before it sells out, because I just might go ahead and do a yellow t-shirt for you and an orange t-shirt. You have to bear in mind, Baby Girl is a small brand. We are self-funding here, so I can only do so much. But yes, the t-shirt is back and I am living and loving. I also have a surprise for you. Yes. You asked and I said, why not? We have brought the black t-shirt back. What is delayed is not denied. Are we living and loving? Hello, my beautiful Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we? The other day, I think it was day before yesterday, I did an episode on Joe Mccann, who is the ex-fiance of Ashlee Jenae. And it was an article from People magazine. And he had announced that he will be creating a non-profit organization in Ashlee Jenae's name and honor. I find it odd. I found it odd then. And I was still trying to digest that until Fumi Nation came to me with two other articles. Let me just take this. One of them was I Cannot Tell You. And this was a Q&A of sorts that he had with TMZ. I'm not going to read through the whole thing. I'm just going to give you a quick synopsis because I have something quite exciting for you afterwards. Cut the long story short, he talked about how he met her. He met her in 2024 and how their relationship, was wonderful. They were together instantly. And he went on to talk about her fertility struggles, how she would not be able to have a child, and in some way, shape or form, he was contributing that to her sense of, or lack thereof, of confidence, self, and really painting a picture of her as very much suicidal. He had pictures of her, which I'm going to post for you as well. And one of them was her in the road, how she wanted to be, knocked down by traffic, how she had tried to get out of his car in full speed. And then there were pictures of the two of them sitting down with her showing the engagement ring when they had announced the engagement. He also went to talk about how Ashlee with double E was a persona, and then Ashlee with LY was the woman that he knew. So he kind of separated them and made it very much as if to say, she was, psychotic in a sense. He went on to talk about how towards the very end, how she would just flip over and how she wasn't mentally stable. Basically, that was what he was saying. I thought to myself, even girlfriends, even guy friends would not talk of their dead friend like this. There would be a loyalty and a love and a protection that you would always hold dear. Even if it was true, you wouldn't go about it the way Joe Mccann did in this interview. Instantly, I just felt as if this doesn't feel right. I don't know what to believe. Ashlee was sitting down like so, with her head down in both pictures in an unkept room, looking very strange. I got a message from Fumi Nation, and I felt that it was quite accurate. Listen to this. It says, "Hey, I'm not sure you're going to see this, but I've been keeping up with the Ashlee case. That demon posted photos of her on his page, and I noticed that her feet appeared completely white. I found it very strange, so I messaged my friend who has also been following the case closely. She ended up asking him why Ashlee's feet were completely white, and he blocked her. Both of us found that extremely odd, because if you are truly innocent, why block someone over such a simple question? He could have just ignored the message, but instead, he read it and blocked my friend. We believe he may be using AI-generated images of Ashlee to fit his narrative. In another photo he posted, it looked like she had 6 fingers instead of 5. I'm not sure whether that was due to poor camera quality or an AI error. But it definitely raised concerns. Ashlee is dark-skinned, and even if someone tried to explain it away by saying her feet were just ashy, you would still be able to see her natural skin. Again, I felt that this interview that he had, the Q&A, I cannot tell you, was extremely offensive to the family, to Ashlee's family, to Ashlee's parents, to Ashlee's mother, to Ashlee's friends, but more importantly to Ashlee. He has thrown Ashlee under the bus to save his own skin, to try to sway us as people that he is innocent, that he had nothing to do with it, that he loved her, that he cared for her, all of these things. I'm not convinced at all. On the contrary, it would have been better if he had kept quiet. It would have been better, because this to me is more damaging. Because he has shown me through this interview that he never ever loved Ashlee at all. That he what? That he never loved Ashlee at all. It's so bizarre to me. The only credit I will give him, and again, somebody who was reading it with me said, Fumi, you do realize that he could have created this himself. He had some snapshots from her phone. He also had the logs from the preparation that he had made when Ashlee had passed away. We also, I'll give him that credit. You can see that he had opened up a dock so that Ashlee's family could see what he was doing out in Zanzibar. Everything just gives suspect. Why? Because, Joe, what you fail to realize is I am not doubting in any way that Ashlee could not have deleted herself. There's a possibility, huge possibility. You took that focus away from that by the way that you have behaved. You are coming back to back to back with all of these interviews, with all of this access. Had we had that all the way in Zanzibar, then we could have said this is a fiancé grieving. But that's not the case for me. It doesn't look like that for me. It looks as if you're covering this up. I could be wrong. And as I sat there, Fumi Nation sent me an audio from my 2 cents. I'm going to put the link for you below. Let her know Fumi Nation is here supporting. She actually had Joe Mccann in a chat room, and he gave his interview. You know what was funny? And it was it gave me chills a bit. At the very end, a gentleman spoke up. I had no idea that he was in the chat room listening. And he spoke to Joe. And he immediately said, because Joe said, I gotta go. He was, I think maybe surprised too, but he wasn't prepared to answer whatever this guy was going to say. And the guy said, oh, I support you. I think that what the family did, this, that, and the third. And that was where, since Joe now felt he was safe, spent an extra 2-3 minutes. It's just strange to me that Joe would do this, thinking that this is a good idea, and then trying to share the family in a bad light. No matter what the family does, the family has a right to grieve and react the way they want to grieve and react, because Ashlee was in your care and she came back in a casket. Let me stop talking, listen to the audio, and I will put the link for the Q&A, of which he did as well.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Nisha Kim, and welcome back to My 2 Cent. Before we get started, if you enjoy commentary, current events, and real conversations, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know what content y'all want to see more of. Now today's video is a little different. Joe Mccann recently entered a public clubhouse room hosted by Dia, where he spoke openly and answered questions regarding Ashlee Jenae. During the conversation, he shared his perspective and addressed a number of topics that have been circulated online. As of this recording, I have not seen this audio posted anywhere else, so I wanted to bring it here and allow you all to hear it for yourselves. Just a quick reminder, the statements you're about to hear are Joe Mccann's own statements and opinions. This video is being shared for commentary, discussion, and informational purposes. I encourage everyone to listen carefully, think critically, and come to their own conclusions. And with that being said, let's get into it.
His profile, hold on. It should be in the others in the room. Oh, there he is. Okay. So I just invited you, Joe. There you go. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
I'm alright, about as best as I could probably be right now.
Yeah, I understand. And first and foremost, I want to just say I extend my heartfelt condolences to you, regardless of the situation. I am one of the people that did know Ashlee. This was a platform that she spent time on. So a lot of us are familiar with her from just game rooms or just regular rooms, her modeling stuff like that. And honestly,
what's crazy is, so I knew about Clubhouse back in COVID because I knew some of the founders and the investors in the app, because it blew up during COVID. And I shit you not, Ashlee would literally go to sleep with her headphones on, listening to Clubhouse chats. No bullshit. Like, that's what she would do.
That's what we all do.
Like, I was like, how the fuck do you sleep with a chat room going on? She's like, I just been doing it for years. And then she told me, she's like, yeah, I got like really popular during COVID. You know, everybody was losing their minds, and
it was not. We were all bored, and it was definitely something to do.
We were bored, you know, but you know, she was funny as fuck. So the stuff that she used to show me, and I think she was telling me some stuff like that's how I carried over into some of her friendship with Joe Budden was through Clubhouse and this type of stuff. So, I mean, even my avatar image is literally from like years ago, because I haven't opened this app since. And the irony being that I'm back on it now, because this is a platform that she used, is, you know, it's bittersweet to say the least.
Yeah, it's like a full circle moment for you.
Yeah, and it's like I said, like, you know, this dude from Atlanta was texting me or messaging me on Instagram. And
yeah, that's B Rich. He's a person over here. You ain't gotta be rich.
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying he was messaging me this morning, and we were chatting back and forth, and then he was telling me about the Clubhouse thing, and I'm headed to the doctor right now. So when I was over in Zanzibar, I almost died. I actually had to be rushed to the hospital due to basically imminent risk of heart attack, organ failure, and stroke. And
oh no!
I'm having to rehab my heart. Like, yeah, it was basically after.
Was that from stress from what was going on?
Yeah. So in essence, like, you could imagine, the experience itself was extremely traumatizing, but then it was a series of traumatic events after that. So one of them being like, they literally told me I have to attend her autopsy. And I was like, what? Like, that's, you know what an autopsy is? They were, they were telling me, like, you're going to have to stand in there while they do it. I was like, it just crushed me. And then when the media narrative stuff came out that, unfortunately was not true, the impact on my stress got so high that it literally almost killed me. So, I've been having to rehab my heart and my cardiovascular system basically like almost every day. That's why I'm going to a doctor on a Saturday. So I don't have a lot of time, but I'm here now.
Okay. So basically, Joe, I know you don't have a lot of time, but I just want to, obviously, the narratives that were going around, and a lot of us that knew and loved her, obviously, it was our first thought because, we didn't know you. So,
yeah, for sure.
So, it was like, aside from it being traumatizing, we like, well, who the fuck is Joe? And, so it's like, we obviously get to research it and we figure out who you are. And then, you have the biased and unbiased. But as, things are coming out and we're starting to learn more details, can you just talk about more of like where did you start to see things go wrong? As far as, her mental health, because a lot of people, that's the biggest thing on here is that people are just saying she was not suicidal. She was not this, she was not that. So I'm just trying to figure out.
Look, I can understand that because that was absolutely what she presented. Nearly everything I've learned about her mental health is after she died. When the authorities in Zanzibar, asked me to unlock her phone because like we've been to she has access to my phone, I have access to her phone. Like that's just part of being in a relationship, right? And so I unlocked the phone for them, and they did what's called a Cellbrite, which is where they basically plug your phone into this piece of software and it rips everything out of it. And that's how they told me about the ChatGPT messages. I had no idea. And so from there's significantly more things in her kind of digital history that suggests she was really struggling with a lot of stuff, and she kept it from me. I just talked to her best girlfriend out of Miami. I talked to her this morning. She didn't know about this kind of stuff. No one did. And it stems from a lot of what she dealt with as a child and as an adolescent. And even in some respects of what she dealt with as an adult, a lot of the kind of abusive relationships that she was in before me, these types of things. And so I was just as shocked, genuinely. Like finding out after she died, all these things is tragically sad because she was carrying this stuff with her entire life and she didn't tell anybody. But she was also very alone. Like, she was, her parents had her when they were teenagers. Her mom was 17, she was, her dad 18. She never really, her mom got remarried and started a new family. Her dad got remarried and started a new family, which is that's fine, that's what you do, but she never really had a place. And so she felt alone through a lot of this stuff. But what she projected was the opposite. Even her, her Instagram, right? Like, she was this incredibly beautiful, successful model. She was a hustler. And then, when we started dating, she changed her persona to not be associated with that anymore. She wanted to grow out of that and project a different type of image, a different type of lifestyle. And I was cool with it. I was like, whatever you want to do, baby, like, just do it. Like, I don't give a fuck, it's your life with me, but, it's great. What I've learned is that a lot of the stuff that she was struggling with was absolutely not presented to anyone, including me. And so
until the weeks and days.
Yeah. So I mean, quite literally, the day that she took her own life, she had told me some stuff that is horrifying about her experience as a child and as an adolescent, and I was completely unaware of it. And when we were on our snowboarding trip prior to that, I had never seen her behave this way. I genuinely thought at the time, I'm like, I know she's really upset about the news she got from her doctor, but I didn't at any point think that this was affecting her like it did. And so it was just, it's shocking. I mean, I don't even know how to explain what I experienced when we were on the snowboarding trip, except it was the same behavior that I saw the last few days that we were in Zanzibar.
So that's what I wanted to ask you. Were those pictures in the TMZ article with her standing in the street? I mean, obviously, I know you gave the account of the story of her, walking onto the oncoming traffic and throwing the snowboarding helmet at you when you guys got back and all of that. But there were some pictures in the TMZ article or with your interview. Was that her, or was that just them trying to make pictures to corroborate the story?
No, those are actually screenshots from videos I took.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been trained for years now to record this type of stuff for two reasons. One, I am a father of two children. I do have a business, etc. But more importantly, I showed it back to Ashlee to be like, this is what you're doing, babe. Like, what is going on? Like, this is not healthy. Like, you need to, and so those are I own the copyright to all of that. They're my screenshots, my videos, and I didn't post the videos because they're really sad. Like, it's fucked up. And so, I think it's easy for people to look at like the story and be like, oh, who hasn't gotten super upset with their man and this and that, and like, this was not that. This was something totally different. And that's why, there's a lot I did not share in that interview because it's not appropriate.
Out of respect for her. Yeah.
Out of respect for her. Now, that being said, there is some necessary truths to what she was going through that may need to be shared. And that's up to me to determine, how I'm going to go about that, because the purpose for me going forward is not to denigrate Ashlee. I would never do that. It's instead trying to preserve her legacy, but also tell an honest, truthful story so that we can try to like raise the conversation around this shit. I get sick of hearing people talking about, oh, there's a mental health crisis in America, and then nobody does shit. Well, I have the ability to do something about it, right? I've worked my way. I grew up in poverty. I have resources now to be able to do this type of stuff, my network, my resources. I'm going to do this no matter what, because this is not about a crash out moment that happened and some acute instance of suicidal ideation.
You're saying that this was on a macro level.
This was way before I even entered the picture. And and if you have, like, I have terrifying screenshots from 2023 where she's talking about doing exactly what she did in Zanzibar to take her own life. Her history is littered with this stuff. But why would anybody find it? Why would anybody look for it? Because nobody would ever believe that Ashlee Jenae, right? That's how most people knew her, would do something like this. And that's my point, is that there is an overlap here with AI, ChatGPT, Claude, you name it, social media, the loneliness crisis in America, and the mental health crisis in America. Like, people don't want to have this conversation because it's difficult. It's like the same bullshit when there's a school shooting where like, our thoughts and prayers are with them, but they don't do shit. It's like, yeah.
Can you talk about
but they don't do shit.
Can you talk about? We heard about the snowboarding. Can you talk about when you got to Zanzibar? And from what I gather from the articles, it's like, okay, you guys went to Zanzibar for her birthday, but just the snowboarding incident was literally just a couple weeks before that. Then you guys you give her the ring after the Mavericks game, and then you guys get to Zanzibar. What was the argument that triggered when you guys got to the beach and you were like, you know what, you went to go pay for the bill? Like, what was, you said that you referenced several outbursts, and myself and other people were just like, well, what are the source of these outbursts? Like, was she just randomly going off? Like, what were the outbursts where you were just like, okay, this resembles the behaviors and reflects what was going on in the last trip as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like, it's so ridiculous because what I'm about to tell you, you're going to be like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, literally, this is what happened. We get there on April 6th, and we show up to Zuri from the previous resort that we were at, Kalindi, and she's, I could just tell something was bothering her. And I was like, what's going on? And I was like, are you hungry? She's like, yeah, I'm a little bit hungry. I'm like, all right, let's go get some lunch. So we go to the restaurant on the beach. And we sit down, and the server comes over, and she asked the server a question. I mean, this is how mundane the question was. She said, you know, is the bao in a bun? And I was like, oh yeah, like it's in, you know, bao means bun in Korean, you know. And she snapped at me in front of the server really fucking loud, and I was like, whoa, like I was like, hey, I wasn't trying to be rude or condescending. I was just letting you know that that's what that means, so that you understood what you might be ordering.
What you're ordering.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But that was the same type of stuff that was popping off when we were in Bend, and then it just carried over for days after that. And so, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it won't make any sense. Like, she got upset about you telling her what bao meant in Korean, so then she killed herself. It's like, no. That's the whole point. This wasn't an acute instance of suicide. This was something else happening here. The other thing is, I recommend people look into this concept. But there's this woman named Brene Brown. She's a professor out of the University of Texas. She has this concept that is I think, very powerful and relates very much to Ashlee, which is this concept of foreboding joy. And I could share like a link or something, I guess.
I'm familiar with the concept. I'm a mental health clinician. Can you explain but you can explain it. Yeah, he can. Yeah.
So that's great. I didn't know that. So I mean, I don't know any of y'all. So
yeah. Well, I'll actually give you that preface. So actually, I was a friend of Ashlee's through here. Like I said, she has several platforms. I've known her for a few years. And so that's why I've kind of been following it. And like I said, my first initial response was, you know, who the fuck is Joe and how the fuck is he, you know, she's just coming back dead. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So my first reaction was that. But then, you know, as I'm taking a step back and the details are coming out, and as I'm sure you can understand with as a person with intelligence, that you can understand those sentiments. But I'm also not oblivious to mental health, and I know that it doesn't have a look or a face or a time or a place. But at the same time, there are questions that I think you are alleviating some people's pain and grief by answering. And that's kind of why I reached out to you to ask, you know, did you mind coming in for a bit? But I am familiar with the concept, and also wanted you to touch on, before you go into your next point, a lot of people were having the question about, well, if she was, because we read through your text messages and you said you finally got to your villa.
Doesn't she sound very familiar? Doesn't she sound like the girl who Queen Sheba Darling interviewed? Strange, but she sounds very familiar.
She was messaging you all those things, like, you know, saying goodbye and those things, the farewell text. Was there a reason why you felt like you didn't want to go over there, like physically? Did you feel like it was just another Ben incident, like the snowboarding, or what was your reason for just not getting up, like, let me go over there?
Yeah. So first, let me talk about the issue, the concept of foreboding joy. So when a child is born and they're 0 to 8 years old, the theta state in the brain is the most sensitive. It creates your subconscious. The amygdala is then wiring the brain based on your experiences. And so if you experience abuse, trauma, neglect, abandonment issues over and over and over again, your brain will wire you to not accept joy. Meaning, every time that you experience something that's happy or joyful, you are going to be let down. You're going to be abused again. You're going to be neglected. You're going to be abandoned, whatever the issue may be. All right. On April 5th, which was her birthday, I had never in my life seen Ashlee so happy. And you'll notice, like, she didn't post shit like the on her birthday, like all that happy birthday, that was all staged. None of that even happened on her birthday. Like, that was actually Jenae'S birthday, right? We didn't even go on our phones practically on her actual birthday because it was for us, right? I had never seen this woman so happy in her life. And the next day, she flipped. There was something that was just, I was like, what is going on? Like, I don't understand. You literally yesterday just said, I'm the happiest woman in the world. I'm with my dream man. I'm getting married. I'm in Africa, my dream vacation spot, like yada, yada, all these things, just oozing joy. And then the next day, it's this totally different person, right? So with respect to the text messages and et cetera, so if you guys go look at the map of Zuri Zanzibar and where Villa 65 is and where Villa 25
Yeah, I have that pulled up.
you have to remember it's dark. Like I don't know if any of y'all have ever been to Zuri Zanzibar, but like it's like dimly lit at night. And so Tanzania is 6 degrees below the equator, and the sun sets and rises the exact same time year round, around 6:30. So it was dark at this point. And by the time I had gotten to my villa, it's on the other side of the resort. And I don't even, like, I've never, we've been staying in Villa 25 the entire time. So by the time I'm reading her text and I'm like, wait, don't let anybody I didn't like carry my casket, no attempt this time, all this stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? So I keep calling her because I don't know how to get to the villa, right? Mm-hmm. So I keep calling her. I FaceTime her, no answer. And then, you can call the villas directly. And this is all in the police's investigation report, right? Like, they have the call records from the Villa 65 to Villa 25. I called 3 times. She wouldn't answer, et cetera, et cetera. And so I did run over there. And the whole villa was blacked out. There was nothing on it. Like, you couldn't get in. I didn't have a key because, remember, I had given my key
back to the front desk
for my villa.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's when I went back to the front desk. We rushed down there, couldn't get in. Like, it was a fucking nightmare. And so people can look at that and be like, why didn't he just run over there? If you look at the timeline, she arrived at North Valley Hospital at 8:55 p.m. The last time I called her was 8:38 p.m. Right? So, like, I did everything that I could.
Yeah.
But it was too late. And in fact, I talked with her friend Troy Parrish, who's down in Atlanta. Is like,
he's from here too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he said he called me the next day or the following day, I don't remember, it's a blur. And told me he was on the phone with her until 8:46 p.m. that night. So we likely missed her by a couple minutes. And that is something that's extremely difficult to think
about.
2 minutes, 3 minutes, we might have missed her. And so because Ashlee had other instances of, call it like lashing out or like, threats of, like walking in the fucking road and all this kind of stuff, like, I didn't know. Like, who was supposed to know? And then you read the text, and I read them again. I was like, wait a second. Like, take care of your kids. This is not an attempt. I'm like, oh, shit. This is real, right? And so I jumped into action as quickly as I could. I'm running through a fucking resort that's pitch black. Like, how am I supposed to, you know what I'm saying? So,
you said
anyway.
This wasn't her first time, right? Like, doing this or saying, like, talking like that to you is like saying like she's gonna commit suicide. Is that right?
She told me stuff when she was a teenager that she did that I'm not going to disclose on this call. But like, this is not there are people in her life that know exactly what she was going through. And I think really it's a shame that that's not being brought to light, because there are people in her life that know.
That's really close to her, basically, is what you're saying.
And so, listen, I gotta go because I'm already late for my doctor's appointment.
No, I appreciate you for even taking the time.
But like, I really gotta go. So,
quick question before you leave, Joe. You there?
Yeah.
So
I gotta go, but yeah, I gotta be quick.
I'm sorry for your loss, by the way. But after the fact, what's the deal with the wedding ring and you not attending, you're not showing up at the funeral? You think they did that to paint a picture of you in that type of light?
Did you not read the interview? Like, my priority was No. No one. I never heard from her parents. Not once after April 10th.
They didn't.
So this idea that I wasn't invited, they never contacted.
They didn't ask you for no. They didn't ask you for no funds or nothing. They just wanted to go the GoFundMe route. They didn't. They tried to make you look like shit in the media, Joe, and that's not cool.
You think I don't know this?
Yeah, that's not cool.
Let me explain something to you. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over there trying to save her life, as well as my own security, because I was constantly under death threat. Right? I spent almost $12,000 to get her a medevac. I spent another $10,000 at North Valley Hospital. I paid for everything. And there's records of this. It's all in the investigation reports. I have all of this. So the idea that, like, you know, let me be super clear. When Ashlee passed, my priority was getting her home, period. Getting her home. What did I do relentlessly to get her home? Everything I could to do with the authorities, the U.S. Embassy, everyone. And they said, I was like, I'll pay for it. I'll do whatever. I just tell me what I need to do to get her home so she can rest.
Right.
And they're like, you're not next of kin, so you've done everything you can up to this point. And so, furthermore, about her funeral, I then had to stay in Zanzibar because of the when her parents went on national and now international TV claiming this was suspicious, when her mom knows. Her mom was on the phone with her when this
I saw those messages. Yeah,
her mom knows. So the second that they did that, now all of a sudden, the original investigation from the local authorities gets elevated to the highest level of investigation for all of Zanzibar. It pulls in the Zanzibar Commission. It pulls in Tanzanian police force. It pulls in all of these other agencies, which extends the investigation. And that's why I had to stay even longer. So let's be super clear. No one communicated anything to me about a funeral. Would I have gone? Of course I would have gone. Of course I would have gone. I was busy cleaning up the mess of the investigation that was extended because of the media coverage. The narrative is about race, wealth, and power. And don't think I don't know that. Of course I do. But that's why I was there for so long. I never got arrested. I never got detained. I voluntarily handed over my passport. I voluntarily handed over my phone. My DNA, everything, because I was like, whatever we got to do to get this investigation wrapped up, let's do it so that I can actually move on to the mourning process that no one is letting me do because I'm too busy dealing with protecting my own life in Zanzibar and getting Ashlee home. Dealing with the investigation, all of those things. So with that, I really
thank you for the transparency. Thank you for the transparency.
No, thank you. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. So thank you, Joe, for coming. I appreciate you even coming just to shed that little bit of light. And we appreciate you coming through, and we wish you the best as you navigate the next.
And we.
But you're back home. You could have started your morning. But you decided to go and do an interview with TMZ and then go into these chat rooms, of which I've never heard before, to do an interview. Why didn't you have a TMZ interview? Why didn't you have a mainstream network who would have been more than interested for you to sit down, dressed and everything, and give this interview? This does not sound like somebody who has lost the love of his life. This does not sound like somebody who's in pain. This sounds like somebody who's trying to clear his name. This does not sound like somebody who is missing her every day. You're cracking jokes, you're laughing, you're talking as if you're having some kind of casual conversation on an afternoon and Ashlee is at home. It's working against you because of you and how you are handling this. Ashlee could have absolutely deleted herself. Let me reiterate that. This is all looking suspicious, exactly how the parents said it, because of how you are behaving. The attention is drawn to you because you're not behaving like somebody who's lost the love of his life. 110%. Ladies, gentlemen, drop it down in the comments. Let's get the conversation popping. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, and I'll see you I'll see you sooner than later. All of my love.
Hi guys, my name is ENITAN, hair coach. I am UK's first ever hair coach and a trichologist. We are a team of trichologists and hair coaches here in W6 London, and we help those who are desperate and have tried and everything else has failed. We look after those who have chronic scalp concerns, flaky, itchy scalp that's been going on for many years. We help those that have hair loss that has progressed instead of improved, and we help those that just generally want to have a better understanding of better quality hair, length, volume, and reduce that dryness. Visit us by clicking